Hello, everyone. Welcome to Semaphore Summit 2025. My name is Darko. I'm one of co-founders and CTO of Semaphore, and I'm excited to talk to you about this year's main event, going open source. As you can imagine, it's a huge achievement for us, and the whole team has been working incredibly hard over previous year to make this happen. So, let's dive straight in. With such a huge release, we have to start with a little bit of history. So, in 2010, while we were just a consulting company of 5 people, we installed Jenkins for the first time. And the installation itself wasn't that bad, but the problems appeared later. We needed to upgrade plugins, we needed to scale, and it worked until it didn't. And I'm sure that many of you who worked with Jenkins had that experience. So what we thought is, okay, if we have this problem, there must be many, many other people who are facing the same. And we started making Semaphore. So the idea was to create a software, a tool that was super easy to use and it's just pleasure to work day in, day out. And as we launched in 2012, we initially focused very much on the Ruby on Rails community. And experience there was paramount. We focused on making things super simple, and it worked. It caught on, and we started growing. And as you can imagine, as many other startups also do, we experienced growth where we needed to scale, we needed to rewrite system, we needed to re-engineer things, and that kept us very busy for a good amount of years, maybe up to 5 years. Um, and what happened then? Well, essentially, we started acquiring customers that had some very specific needs. That there were like bigger teams that had their own ways of working, and the pipeline that can run multiple parallel jobs in the CI part of the pipeline, and a simple couple of jobs in the CD part of the pipeline just didn't work for them well enough. So what we did is with all the experience that we have acquired over previous 5 years, we started engineering Semaphore from scratch, and it was a full rewrite. And for you who have some experience in the software industry, it's one of those risky moves, but it worked out for us actually pretty well because we changed things from the ground up and make sure that those would scale to any kind of a special configuration of like CI with multiple conditions, dependencies, and then with CD pipeline where you can chain multiple pipelines together, parameterize them, and follow the whole continuous delivery process. And it was great. It worked out. It took a lot of time, but in 2019 we launched Semaphore 2.0. One of the main things that started happening is that we started acquiring customers that we could only dream of before. Those were teams that were large engineering teams that had multiple applications running on very different clouds with very different workloads, and it was great. It was great until business just came and said, engineers are super happy, that's great, we just want this, but hey, we have these business requirements, we have these very strict regulatory compliance security requirements that we also need to satisfy. So we dived into that. We wrote the whole RBAC with groups, custom roles, various kinds of mappings, and control features. After that came a lot of work in the security domain and the control of who can do what within the application, plus the whole suite of various logging and provisioning mechanisms, audit logging, and so on. And it did satisfy I would say all of the requirements for many customers. But then we experienced another way of customers that we were not ready for at that time, which was just the need to run everything themselves. They just have such a regulatory and compliance requirements that it's easier to satisfy all of those if they would just move the Semaphore as a whole into their private cloud or on-prem or wherever they want to run it. And we did that. And in 2022, we launched Semaphore on-prem, which satisfied all of those requirements, and just put us in a position where we can work with super exciting team and companies and continue to scale and evolve with them. And that kind of concludes this part of the history. Present day. What do we have here? We have on x-axis we have this closed source, open source, and on epsilon we have requires heavy lifting or is refined and easy to use. There are software solutions today that can be mapped to each of these four quadrants. So let's dive in and see what do we have here. So in this lower left quadrant we have Google and AWS. Big public clouds, they tick the box. They have some kind of solution to do CI and CD within their cloud. It's not in the DNA of these public cloud providers to pay a lot of attention to polish and how easy it is something to use. So yeah, these tools exist. You might use them if you don't cannot use anything else for whatever reason. So yeah, let's move on from there and see what else is available. In the open source quadrant, we have Jenkins, GitLab CI. There are other tools here, or I would say more of a projects. So there is like a Tecton or Concord CI that exist for a number of years, but those are more in the category of a project that requires super heavy lifting. So unless you are literally IBM or Sony or organization of that scale, it just doesn't make sense for you to run those kinds of tools and build all the additional tooling that is required to be happy with such a tools. Then we are moving into this quadrant of closed source and a bit more refined tools. So we have Microsoft GitHub Actions. Essentially, they tick the box through the competition with the GitLab. Do they have CI inside built in? They do. They worked on it for a while, and now they don't evolve it so much anymore. Then we have Circle CI, about the same age as Semaphore, who is focused essentially mainly on the CI. And then we have Semaphore. One of our core values forever was great UI and UX experience and making a super refined product. So we invested a lot there. And yeah, this is the quadrant that we operate in for over a decade now. And what is obvious to us today is that in this open source and refined and easy to operate, there is really nothing that you can reach for. So this is kind of the third major evolution of our product, where we want also to operate in this quadrant and just tackle the market of people that want to run the software themselves. They are maybe a medium-sized company of a couple of dozen people, and Semaphore Community Edition could just tick all the boxes for them, and they could just forget about these open source tools that are unrefined and require crazy amount of energy and effort to operate. So let us walk through the editions of Semaphore and see which things are changing, what's staying the same, and how it can all work together. Semaphore Cloud, our initial edition, most successful one. Zero maintenance, high performance CI/CD. You just jump in, you have the cloud machines, you have the caching, artifacts, SLAs, a lot of things just taken care of you. What's staying the same here? Well, it's pretty much all staying the same. We are supporting our customers in this domain as we did so far. Has the great reliability. We have fast and personalized support. And generally the release cycles that we work closely with the customers through technical previews, betas, and then eventually features landing into the GA. So there's really nothing that's changing there. One element which will become better is that open source and open core that we'll have will facilitate faster collaboration, innovation with people, with other um, people from the industry. So yeah, we keeping the Semaphore Cloud as it is, and it's great, and it should just become better. Moving from here, we have the Enterprise Edition. So Enterprise Edition, as we spoke about, is aimed at organizations that really have those strict regulatory compliance, security requirements. No major changes there. So all the enterprise features staying there. No movement. Great 24/7 SLA-backed support. Um, and yeah, in the realm of becoming better, so source of all of these enterprise features will become available. Some are available even today. Some will become available over the next weeks and months. And another major thing that is happening is that we want to gradually start moving towards monthly releases. So currently, our customers are getting new minor releases every quarter with patched versions spread in between, and we would want to progressively move towards a quicker release cycle, which will be on the monthly level. And last but not the least, we are getting to Semaphore Community Edition. So Semaphore Community Edition aimed at smaller teams that want to run their own software. All code comes under Apache 2 license. They can, help us build that, build together from there. It's all new, new segment of the market for us, new people, new relationships, which we are very much looking forward to establishing with whole world. What will become better? Yeah, as I said, free to download, install, modify. A lot of features coming in actually. So advanced pipelines, workflow builder, secret management. Yeah, all of those are baked in, and we are looking forward to building it forward with the thriving community. And when we are speaking about community, this is the way that we plan to get there. So to support our commitment to the community and the open source product, we are planning to switch the way that we work to building in public. This is for me personally one of the most exciting parts of this announcement. So I look forward to seeing many people running Semaphore CE. But even more than that, I look forward to working with the community and many people from our existing customer base and also outside of it. So, what does that mean in practical terms? Yeah, code which is not cloud or specific will be available. Core under the Apache 2 license and the enterprise features under commercial license, but we can collaborate on all of those parts. Our design, product, engineering docs will be available in the Git repo going forward. And yeah, relying on the good industry practices, we are going to be forming a number of special interest groups where we'll be discussing various areas. I mean, the first one that we kicked off almost like symbolically is the work on the documentation. There will be also one on the APIs and extensibility, the continuous delivery domain, and so on. So we will be meeting on some of those bi-weekly, on some monthly, and external people will be able to join also through a process that we are planning to set up. In terms of like real time and day-to-day communication and collaboration for a lot of product and engineering work, we'll be replacing Slack with our public Discord. And in terms of meetings, we are no longer going to be just keeping them in our private Google Drive with transcript, meeting notes, and so on. But all of those will be available on YouTube. Most of them on our Semaphore Backstage YouTube channel. So be sure to check it out and subscribe. So yeah, wrapping up with all of these announcements, as I already said in the very beginning, huge announcement, huge milestone for us. So yeah, looking forward to collaborating with everyone.